What's up, little bud? There you go. Come here. Here's another one. What's up, buddy? What's up? Alright guys, so this is one that we've been to a couple of times, and it's a 3-story townhouse with zoning. Small zones, first, second, third floor. The third floor is right through this door. It's just a bedroom and a bathroom in there. And to come out, they tell us it's not cooling on the second and third floors. We've changed a damper motor on this thing just because they said it always seems to start with the second floor over there. But they turn it off, and then we get here and turn everything on and it runs fine. The damper's open and closed, so we just took a shot and replaced one of the damper motors that we thought, based on the description they were giving us, that the second floor is where it seemed to start at. Then everything else would stop. There's a water stain on a wall in here, I think. So this is that stain where the line set runs up this wall down. Like I said, this is a townhouse, has a slab foundation. So our line set's coming up this wall, and when it's freezing, this place is wet right there. There's some exposed copper on that line set. It's freezing and it's laying against this wall. And when it freezes up, it's wetting the sheetrock. But anyway, we told them this time if it happens, they're renting this place, and the property manager, every time they call, tells them to turn everything off. So we told them this time, leave it on. The outdoor unit is frozen, so I know this coil is frozen. You can see it sweating. So now we've got to find out why it's freezing up. We know it's not airflow because the blower is running, or at least it's not because the blower is shutting off. We did check the refrigerant charge. The filter's good. We did check the refrigerant charge last time. That's good. So it has to be somewhat related to this zoning system acting up or doing something. All our zones are calling for fan and cooling. There is a DAT sensor installed here. It's telling us, but it's telling us 74 degrees, which, if this coil's frozen, it should be a lot colder than 74 degrees inside here. I don't know where this DAT sensor is, but that damper is open up there. So it's not stuck closed. This damper is open. And then there's another one over here. And it is also open. So the thermostats haven't satisfied. It's been on, it started doing this, so I'm not seeing an issue with a damper sticking closed. We do have a fresh air, makeup air mounted over there. See, we got ice right here on the line set. That's a place where it's exposed. Got a little bit of water in the drain pan down there. Need to seal this up so we don't have water dripping in one of these seams and coming through the ceiling. So we'll do that after the fact. But so this thing starts thawing out. I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to disconnect the outdoor unit, let the compressor thaw out, let some of this ice start melting from the blower running. And this is also that new coil design from Carrier. And it's micro channel. Look at that. Look at that gem back there. Yeah, some new coils, guys. POS. And I want to find out, I want to see where this DAT sensor is, because did they mount it in the wrong place? Why is it reading 74 degrees? Because that DAT sensor, I think, is going to be key to our problem. And when it gets too cold, if this third floor zone is running by itself, which in the warmer weather should be, because it's the third floor, it's going to be where all the heat in the house goes. If that third floor is running by itself and these other two are closed, that coil temperature is going to start to drop from that reduced airflow. There is a bypass, it does open a little bit. It's not opening now because the coil's frozen, so there's no static pressure really on the supply side. But that DAT sensor, if it's reading correctly, gets below a certain temperature, should be cycling that outdoor unit off until the air temperature stabilizes back up, and then it'll come back on. But we need to find out where this DAT sensor is, because that may be what our problem is. So where is this going? So that's going down, which that's not good, because the DAT sensor should be up here on the supply, not the return. So let's find out where this thing is going. Over here. Oh, there it is. So that one, there's this one. It's coming across the back side of the furnace over there. Right back here. So looky there. I don't know if you can see it. Our DAT right back there. Got it mounted on the return plenum. These guys, I had brought one just in case, because I couldn't remember if one was actually installed from the last guy that was here. He wasn't sure, so I brought one to add it if it wasn't installed, but it is installed. But they put the damn thing on the return right back there. So, I mean, come on. DAT stands for discharge air temperature sensor. And this isn't your discharge air, it's your return. Some of the guys that installed this stuff. We didn't install this, I promise you that. So now I've got to relocate that DAT sensor, and I'm probably just going to go put a brand new one in anyway, rather than trying to get back there and fight that one. So let me figure out where I'm going to put this thing. All right, so location, guys. If you're putting in zoning, which, I mean, is not the best thing in the world, obviously, for a heating and air system, but they build these 3-story townhouses around here. They're nice, but they zone every floor, and those are little zones, especially this third floor that only has 1, 2, 3 supply registers. When the other 2 zones shut down, this bypass bleeds a lot of cold air back into this system, and that thing's going to run cold. And that's the purpose of having a DAT sensor installed. Comes with it. Some people don't even install them, which is not a good idea. But now I've got it relocated on the supply. We're reading 67 degrees. The air conditioner's off because I'm letting this ice in here melt. And we'll take a peek at that real quick. But yeah, you don't put the discharge air temperature sensor on the return plenum. That has nothing to do with anything in this situation. So you want to put it up here, put it on your supply, and the purpose of that is if it gets too cold, because the small zone is the only one on, it gets below a setting, which we're going to go in here real quick and we're going to check all this. We're going to see what our set point is set to, but you'll go in here, advanced settings, yes, and you're going to cycle through till you get to your minimum and a maximum. So discharge air sensor installed, yes, and then your DAT limit is 160, the high limit. So if they're running the furnace and the blower shuts off, or a damper sticks closed, or something causes this thing, the airflow, to get bad, small zone calling this furnace, if it gets above a certain temperature, it'll just cycle the furnace off instead of tripping this thing out on fault codes for high limit, primary limit, stuff like that. And then once the temperature stabilizes back out, get down probably about 110 degrees, 100 degrees, something like that, it's going to cycle the furnace back on. It just prevents damage. You're also going to have your low limit. So if the temperature in this coil, in this plenum, gets below 40 degrees, it takes that as, hey, we've got an airflow problem, damper stuck closed, small zones calling, whatever it is causing this coil to run colder. It'll just cycle the condenser off outside, and then once that air stabilizes back out, warms back up, it'll turn it back on to prevent anything. Does that to keep it from freezing up. And these yahoos that put this system in, CCA, I think, is their nickname. It stands for something, but anyway, they do this a lot. I've been behind some of their installs. They either don't put it on or they install it in the wrong place. Several times I've gone behind them and found that. I didn't think about looking into that last time we were here. Didn't know who put it in, but we missed it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you get here, it's running fine, you cycle it on, and didn't even think about noticing that we're reading a supply temperature, checking the split, but it doesn't match what we were getting on here for our discharge sensor. So it could have been picked up easy. It got missed. Sometimes it happens, but anyway, we got it figured out, got it relocated. So now this should keep this system from freezing up anymore and having a problem. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you put zoning in, put your discharge sensor on there so you can set up a lockout on this thing to keep it from freezing up or going out on high limits. So, all right, that's it. Appreciate you watching. Have a good one.